Alright, quick update on Smooth Love Potion. So, I haven't updated this in the past 2 weeks or so. We've literally been trending sideways, but now it does seem like we are flirting with death. Let's jump right into the video. You can see this bear flag that we are in on the daily. Before we do go over to the lower time frames, and you can draw this a few different ways. I mean, to be honest, you can even argue something like this, you could even argue something further, but the point of the matter is I'm not really too interested on the breakdown target of the bear flag. I mean, if you want, we can call this an asymmetrical triangle, and you can have a slightly less of a bearish breakdown. Let's go for the conservative breakdown, because even with the conservative breakdown, it is still a pretty nasty fall over for SLP. So if Smooth Love Potion does solidify this breakdown, and what I mean by that is if you see SLP close below 0.0053, then we are going to be having a daily breakdown from this pattern. Now, like I said, I consider this a bearish pennant, but it's also an asymmetrical triangle if you take away from the pole. And like I said, it's not the clearest where you would draw it from, because, you know, if you're arguing from here or here, you can also argue from here, and then if you're arguing from there, you know, why can't you draw it up to here? Because it has been pretty much a straight drop to the downside. So like I said, I'm really not interested in the price target of the bear flag. I'm actually going to delete that. What is important though is this support trend line. Like, you know, we can even delete the top of this, it doesn't matter. What matters is the uptrending level of support has been invalidated. And I always say this, I'm really not the biggest fan of trend lines. I really don't pay too much attention to them at all, but this does seem to be like a pretty solidified breakdown, and this is happening while the Bitcoin dominance is moving up, and this is happening while the Bitcoin price is moving down. Why am I talking about Bitcoin for an SLP video? Well, SLP is literally following Bitcoin to the teeth right now, and Bitcoin has just had a rejection from the EMA ribbons and the 13 EMA. In my opinion, SLP is gearing up for a pretty nasty move back to the downside. So if we hop over to the daily time frame, actually let's hop over to the weekly. What you can see is the SLP has been in price discovery to the downside for a very, very long time now. I mean, let's clear up this chart. I know a lot of people may be emotionally invested into these altcoins. So one thing that I always do like to do on charts that are in price discovery to the downside is to flip the scale. Let's pretend this is an SLP. This is a new altcoin we're charting called PLS. You can see this was the previous all-time high. We broke down, came up, you know, consolidated below the previous all-time high, broke above the all-time high, came back tested the EMA ribbons, and ever since then, we've been chopping in price discovery to the upside. Bear in mind, this is the inverse chart. So this price discovery to the upside is really price discovery to the downside. And, you know, like I've been saying, I do think SLP is going down. There's so many bearish signals on this chart. I mean, we just broke down from a super nasty M pattern. And if we take the price target of this, you can see this would be carrying us down another. Okay, this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to be happening because the price target is in the minuses. Nonetheless, if we build back our chart, what we do have at this moment in time, because like I said, we're in price discovery to the downside, so unfortunately, we really don't have any trend lines or any horizontal price targets that we could be coming to. We're really running off fibs at this moment in time. And that's completely fine, that is what I like to do. But coming down to the 1.618 is, apart from the lows, obviously the lows could come back into fruition. We've already bounced a multitude of times on the 2.618, and I do think after we do come back down to this low that we would be capitulating. So, like I said, if you want to be conservative, the breakdown target from this asymmetrical triangle, bear in mind, once again, this is the conservative breakdown target, would be a drop of just over 40%, coming in at 40.5%. That is pretty brutal. If we move it down, it might actually be more like 40. But nonetheless, you get the gist of it, a 40% drop. And the bearish price target for SLP could potentially be coming down to the 1.618, and this would be a 57% drop. Now, I said this at the start of the video, and I said this in basically all the altcoin videos, all the live streams that I've been doing. If you go over to my Twitter at 618cowboy, you'll see that I've been tweeting this for the past month. I've been religiously saying altcoins are going to get wrecked. I've been saying altcoins are going to get slaughtered. I probably say that too much. People who are veterans to my channel probably make me realize that I say that word too much. But it is what it is. Altcoins are going to get slaughtered. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance keeps on moving up. And when you chart, unfortunately, TradingView does not have a BTC pair for SLP. But what we can do is we can chart SLP against Bitcoin over on CoinMarketCap. And you can see, I mean, look at this chart. We were all the way up here. We had 4 zeros and a 1. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros and a 1. We've literally been slaughtered on SLP. You can see as we're coming down, we're just adding more and more zeros against the Bitcoin pair. So SLP, we're extremely bearish against both the US dollar and Bitcoin. You can see these are pretty much been moving in tandem, but obviously Bitcoin's still going down, but Bitcoin is outperforming these altcoins. So if there are people out there that are looking to buy these altcoins, I would just like to, you know, let this chart sink in. And if you're investing in other altcoins, I definitely recommend going over to TradingView and just taking a look at some of the altcoins you're invested. You know, are you invested in ADA? This is how ADA is performing against Bitcoin. Are you invested in KNC? This is how KNC is performing against Bitcoin. You know, zoom out, you can see macro downtrend. Ethereum heading down against Bitcoin. Litecoin heading down against Bitcoin. XRP heading down against Bitcoin. Solana heading down against Bitcoin. NEAR, AMP, GMT, Tron. Tron had a pump in the past month, but zooming out, downtrend. JASMY, downtrend. Crypto.com, downtrend. I could go through every single altcoin, but I think I've proven my point. Be very careful if you're still investing in altcoins. I've been saying this for the past month now. Altcoins are going to get absolutely wrecked, in my opinion, in the next coming months or so. So be careful. Like I said, I'm more leaning towards this price target of the 1.618. I think a 57% drop is quite likely. I mean, the market cap is at 28 million, but bear in mind the market cap of SLP does not have to go down for the price to move down. If you haven't read the Axie Infinity white paper, you might be like, what is this guy smoking? How is, you know, the market cap going to stay the same, but the price is going to go move down? Go over to Axie Infinity and read the white paper, and you'll see that SLP is a hyperinflationary token with no max supply, no total supply, and SLP is printed out of thin air to reward Axie Infinity players for participating in the ecosystem. So people by default think, you know, the more adoption that happens around Axie, the more people playing Axie, the more hype Axie gets, the more Axie is in the news, then the better it is for SLP, right? But it's actually the inverse. You know, if you've got one player playing the Axie Infinity game, there's only going to be X amount of Smooth Love Potion printed. But let's say you get a new player base and there's now 10 million people playing Axie Infinity. It's basically going to be that money printer go brewer meme. I mean, they're printing SLP like it's the US dollar. So bear in mind that this market cap does not have to go down for the price to move down. In fact, if we look at the market cap, you can see the market cap has really not been hit as hard as the price has. I mean, we've gone from what does this say up here? The market cap against Bitcoin was 6,000, and the market cap now is round about 1,000. So it's lost a decent amount. But you come over to SLP USD. I mean, let's zoom out. I mean, I don't even need to measure this. I can measure this from here and not even draw it down to the bottom. And once again, this is, you know, point proven. I don't even need to go up to the all-time high all the way up here. This is from the most recent local high, and this is what you are dealing with when you're in SLP. So bear in mind, like I've been saying, the market cap does not have to go down for the price to go down. And if you see, the price has actually been flat for ages now. In fact, it's been flat for, you know, almost 2 months. But the price has been slowly trickling down. And this is because SLP is a hyperinflationary token with no max supply. Be very, very careful. I'm not saying that no one should ever invest in SLP. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I do think at some point when market sentiment switches from bearish to bullish, I think SLP is going to be one of the altcoins that I look at to make swing trades, because this is so euphoric and it will move up very, very fast when we are in a bullish environment. The only thing I'm saying is, at this moment in time, we're not in a bullish environment. And if you are buying SLP, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot, because we are in the midst of a breakdown. SLP against Bitcoin is getting slaughtered. So that's really all I have to say about SLP today. I hope you found some value in this content. But like I said, conservative breakdown target is about 40%. And this would carry SLP all the way down to 0.003. Whereas the bearish breakdown, this would be a 57% drop down to the 1.618 fib, would be a breakdown to 0.002, approximately, you know, 0.00226, but we're just approximating here. So looks like it's going to go down either way, 40% or 60%. Pick your poison. What do you think we're doing? If you think we're going to break bullish out of this asymmetrical triangle, then, you know, fair enough. Let me know what you think. But like I said, where was the breakdown target of this? If we go over to the daily, if SLP does not get above 528, let's call it 528, 530, let's just say 530. If SLP closes below 530, it is probably going to have this massive breakdown, and I think this is going to be playing out in the next week or so. So that's all I've got for SLP. Best of luck if you're still trading it. As always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. Peace.